Welcome to Leading in the Age of AI, a podcast and platform where you will learn to lead without burnout, integrate AI without losing your voice, and become who the future requires.
Welcome back to Leading in the Age of AI. This week, we are diving into the AI overwhelm is real and how leaders stay relevant without losing themselves. I know that everywhere that I go right now, this is one of the biggest themes that are coming up for leaders. So I want to start this one maybe a little bit differently, this conversation. And it's not really with a big idea, it's more of a moment, a real moment that I've had more than once lately. I open up my laptop, I go into AI, and I know why I'm there. I know what I'm about to do. And then I just sit there for a moment, not because I don't know how to use it, but because I've noticed that there's this quiet question coming up underneath it all right now. And it's kind of like what actually matters here. Not what could I do, not what could I try, not what should I try, but what actually matters in this moment. And I've been hearing versions of this from so many leaders lately. I think a few months ago it felt like confusion, but today it doesn't feel like confusion. It doesn't feel like resistance. It's more this sense of there is so much here. There is so much opportunity that I don't want to lose myself in it. Does that feel a little bit familiar to you or something that maybe you've been experiencing yourself? Well, I think what's really happening right now is that we're kind of in this really interesting moment with AI because we're not at the beginning anymore. And for many of us, the beginning didn't seem like it was that long ago either. I know many people have been playing with it for years, but for others, I think it felt like it just all of a sudden, here it was. We're standing right in the middle of it. And in this moment where we're standing, we know it's powerful and we're starting to leverage it in really meaningful ways. We're absolutely seeing what's possible, but we're also figuring out how we actually relate to it. And this is the part that I'm not sure we're talking about enough yet. And so that's the conversation I wanted to have today because most of what I think we see online is here's how to use this tool. Here's the best prompt. Here's how to be more efficient. And listen, all of that matters. It's why AI is going to be such a partner for us, such a collaborator for us. But it misses something deeper. It skips the experience of the leader using it. And right now, the experience is kind of it's layered. It's curiosity, it's excitement, it's possibility, it's all of those amazing things. And also, it's pressure, it's noise, and it's a subtle pull to do more than we actually need to do, or to do more than perhaps we're capable of doing in this very moment. So let's talk about what the real tension is then. So I had a conversation recently with a client, and she said something that stopped me. She said, I feel like I could be doing more with AI, but I don't even know if I want to. And we just sat there for a second because it was so honest. And I think that's the moment that we have in front of us is to ensure that we're speaking so honestly. And it's not for her, it wasn't about capability, it was about alignment. And I think this is where so many high performing leaders are right now. It's not, can I use AI? It's, do I want to use it in this particular way? Or does it actually support how I lead, or turning that question around, how can I ensure it supports how I lead? Or am I just trying to keep up? And if we're not careful, this is where we start drifting. And I actually really think in leadership, we've been drifting for a while now. And so we don't need any more support in the drift. What we really want to know is, how do we start saying yes to things that don't actually matter? And noticing that we're doing that, that we're actually starting to say yes to keep up versus because it matters, that we start filling space with something else because we can. I was really leaning into this the other day and thinking about how what we have tended to do, because we have learned so well how to fill our space and time, that AI has the ability, capability, possibility of gifting us back time. And yet, what I'm noticing is we're starting to use it as a, I've got time freed up. Now I can move faster. And we're not asking the right questions about how to leverage that time differently, or how to leverage the tools properly for our business and our strategy. So we're going to unfold this. We're going to keep unfolding this. But for now, I want to look at a little bit of a reframe. So, the reframe is that I want to offer you something simple that I've been playing with. And maybe, I hope, will also be grounding for you. You don't need to match the pace of AI. You need to set your own pace. I think about the pace cars. And I've often, when it comes to sales and leadership, talked about these pace cars. And in leadership and in sales, in both of those environments, the most effective leaders are the ones that are the pace car. So, how can you look at that philosophy with everything happening right now? Because AI will always move faster than you. That's not the game. The game is, can you stay clear while everything speeds up? Can you stay connected while everything is expanding? And can you choose instead of reacting to what's happening around you? So let's look at the PACE model. This is what I've been playing with. This is where, I think, if you, because I don't know, I just love when you can have something that's really simple as a model and you can like grab it at any time. So that's where this pace comes from. And again, I want you to be thinking about that pace car as you, when you think about how do I grab that framework again, think about the pace car. So it's something that you can return to again and again. So the P is pause. Before you open the tool that you're using, before you try the next thing, just pause. It's a brilliant leadership tool, even if you just pause for 10 seconds. Because without that pause, you're entering into something that's already in motion and you lose your ability to have clarity. So I want you to think of a moment where you have gone straight to AI, clicked around, tried a few things, and before you knew it, 30 minutes later, you're asking yourself, what did I actually just do? What did I actually accomplish in alignment with your top priorities? And contrast that with a day that you paused first and you were intentional. So P, pause. The A in pace is anchor. Who are you as a leader? Who is the leader that you want to be? What is the vision of your leadership? What do you believe? How do you think? What matters to you? And always with that pause, reminding yourself that AI is meant to be an amplifier of that vision. So now, if you're anchored, it amplifies your clarity. When you're not, everything seems so noisy right now. So I want you to think about a time that you used AI and it sounded really good. Maybe you used it to draft a strategy or an email, but it didn't feel like you. So you read it and you went, well, that's really good. And wow, that does not sound like me at all. And instead of what I'm seeing so many people do right now is use it anyways, instead of that, anchor in and come back and rewrite it from your own voice and notice the clarity that you feel in that. Then our C is choose. This is the one that most people love to skip. Just because you can do something with all of these new AI tools doesn't mean that you should. And I think this is where leadership is evolving the most. Choice, discernment, intentionality. We still need these things to be deeply human and connecting. When you choose not to automate something, maybe it's your writing or your messaging, or what about a touch point with one of your key people on your team? Think of a moment in a choice where being human and layering in the most human parts of you matter more than anything else. And then our E is expand. This is the real work, not doing more, but expanding your capacity to sit more with uncertainty, hold more possibility, lead without needing to control everything. Because AI is absolutely expanding what's possible for every role that we have. And so to expand is how you hold that possibility. So I want you now to think of a moment where you felt really stretched by what's possible right now. But instead of shutting down, you just stayed open and curious. That's expansion. So think about the pace model as you move forward. And I want you to think right now about a moment recently where you could have applied that, and just pause, anchor, choose, and expand. What would that have looked like in that moment? Okay, now we're going to take a little break for our AI lab moment. This is where curiosity meets AI without losing your humanity. And this is where we talk about one thing that happened in AI this week, or we might experiment with an AI tool so that you don't have to figure it out alone. So let's see what's happening in the world of AI this week. Well, this week, one of the biggest conversations happening in AI is around how quickly companies are integrating it into everyday workflows, not just for content or ideas, but into things like hiring, decision making, customer communication. We're seeing this all around us. And so I'm going to come back shortly with some fun ways that I've been playing with it from a workflow perspective as well. But I just want you to think about for yourself, is there one interesting workflow that you would love to see if the technology can support you in a different way? So I'm just going to give a quick one from this week for me. So I've started playing with Claude a little bit more, and I interconnected it into Canva, and then I could ask it to create something specifically through Canva and drop it right in there for me. And so this week, when I post the podcast, I'm actually going to post this example on LinkedIn so that you can have a look at it. It was brilliant. It was in 30 seconds. I had an 11 slide, um, I guess we'll call it, it's like a slideshow almost. Um, and it's brilliant how it put it together. And I was just in awe. So no big announcement, just I want you to be thinking about, where can you choose a workflow that you can be leveraging the technology for? because this is how it can absolutely become a game changer in your world. And if you think about workflows that can create efficiencies, then then you can actually apply your leadership in a new way. So just be thinking about that, thinking about the example I gave, and can't wait to be back with everything but it's so hard to keep up. And so we can't really try. We just have to keep looking at these little nuggets and trying something new and seeing where it can create support efficiency to your strategy and then applying your humanity to it. That's it. Okay, so now back to the show. Now we're going to do our reset moment because as we understand now, it is so important that we bring the body to this game. We cannot just start to live in a world of technology. It's all about conscious leadership, humanity, our bodies playing a role, our nervous system coming along for the game. And so in today's reset minute, this one is simple, but so powerful. Wherever you are, just soften for a moment. And instead of trying to think your way through everything that's happening, just ask yourself the following question: what do I actually want more of in my leadership right now? I'm pretty sure your answer would not be more tools, not more output, but more of clarity, maybe more space, more connection, more creativity. Just let your answer come through. And now think about ways that the new tools can support you. They can't define you, but they can support you. And only you get to decide that. So come up with your answer. And now let's get back to the show. This moment we're in right now with AI, it's not just about learning tools. It's about learning ourselves inside of it all. And I really believe this. The leaders who will thrive through this era are not the ones who do the most. I know that's what we've been taught, but it will be the leaders like yourself, the ones who stay the most aligned, the ones who take reset moments and also look for ways to understand how AI can support them. The ones who know when to lean in and when to pull back, who use AI without losing their own voice in it. And if that's the kind of leader you're becoming, you're exactly where you need to be because we will continue to explore the intersection of these worlds. And if this resonated with you, please share it with someone who's navigating this too. And as always, human first and future ready. We'll see you next time on the show.